Ladies and gentlemen, how are you? I still think that countdown music is horrid. I have not got used to it as of yet. I don't know why they changed it, but I hate it. It sounds terrible. Good to see you. How are you all? Rachel, Snapcrackle, Mr. Danny for gifting a membership. I appreciate it. Hello, Danny. How are you? April B is here. Wendy R. Marlene's here. Nikki. Who else? Nana Lana, Shad's here, Glitter, Sean, hello, Kathy. Kathy's like, I don't hate it. I think I'm so used to the other one. I've done, I don't know, over 500 shows with the other intro music. And when it just changed overnight with no consultation to any of the creators, it sort of went, why is this happening? What happened here? All right. Let's get going. We got a lot to get through and not a lot of time. So today in Victoria, not Melbourne. Uh, well, actually, it was in. Wait, Supreme Court of Victoria. Actually, it was in Melbourne. I thought it was still out in Ballarat, but that's okay. Supreme Court must be in Melbourne. Okay. Today in Melbourne, then, Patrick Oren Stevenson, 24. You may know him as the accused killer of Samantha Murphy. Now, very similar to Erin Patterson when she had those initial hearings, like August through to October last year, where the media was unable to report on it. Yes, this is true. They're not able to tell you what really goes on at these meetings. They're sort of administrative. They're with a registrar, not a judge or a magistrate, which is a little bit different. The registrar is more for like issues dealing between the defense and the prosecution, witnesses, scheduling, court days, paperwork, that type of thing. It's not really for like trial as such. It's more for like yeah, just sorting crap out before you go to trial. That's more what they use it for. Um so today he was in court. I can't tell you a great deal, unfortunately, because again, it's been prohibited from publication. That includes YouTube. But what I can tell you is this little bit. Actually, where is it? I'll go to a different one. Actually, I'm going to go to this one. I can tell you this little bit, this little snippet that came out. Yeah, nope, that's not what we want. It's down here. Hey, give us the proper thing. Where is it? Here. So this bit is what I consider very interesting. They said at the hearing on Wednesday before the judicial registrar Tim Freeman, they heard about experts and their specialities that may be called at trial. Now, one of them is a road reconstructionist, Robert Hay. Now, I've looked up Robert Hay. He is actually he works for Victorian Police, as I think. But when I was researching him on, there's a register for people who do crash reconstructions, and I was able to locate him. Here, I'll show you. So it's like a reconstructionist directory through ACTA. So here, Robert Hay, ACTA 3342 is his number membership. Victoria Police. So he either consults or works directly with VicPol. Now, what does that? When I think of this, I'm like, what did we talk about originally, like a year ago? Is we all thought when he was arrested that she was hit by his car and then killed, and then it sort of went quiet because in that press conference when he was arrested, a journalist asked a question, but they asked the wrong question. The journalist, I think, if I could find it, they say something like, "Oh, can you talk about if this is a hit and run?" Well, it's not a hit and run if the killer takes the body and hides it. A hit and run is where you leave the victim behind and run away. So that the cops just went, nah, like, it's not that. And everyone sort of calmed down on it. But the fact they're bringing in a crash reconstruction expert is very interesting. Tells me that maybe, we were all on the run with that maybe he hit her with the car, freaked out that he'd hit a human, and, decided to dump her body somewhere. I believe at the time they said something like, "Oh, a hit and run wasn't the cause of death," or something like that. Yeah, that may not be the cause of death as such. Like, cops love to play word games, eh? They'll be like, "Oh, she was hit by a car, but she may have been still alive. It was the dumping of her in a different location is what actually killed her." Like, maybe she was unconscious, maybe if she got to medical assistance, she could have lived, but by him freaking out and removing the body from the area, maybe that's what actually is, like, what actually killed her, not being hit by the vehicle as such. They like to play these type of semantics with the media. So it never occurred to you that he might have hit her with the car after he already got arrested for driving drunk, drug driving, crashing a motorbike, crashing other things. Seems he has a history of this type of behavior. He was in court, I think, like a month ago, pleading guilty to some other charges, if I can find them. Yeah, so in an unrelated matter, Stevenson last month pleaded guilty to drink, drug, and careless driving, for which he was convicted $2,500 in a different, investigation. The court heard Stevenson was found lying on the road in the early hours of October 1st, 2023, after crashing his motorbike following an AFL Grand Final party with friends. They say the crash left him with serious injuries that required 2 weeks of hospital treatment. Those injuries included fractured vertebra, lacerated spleen, broken pelvis, ribs, and minor head trauma. He definitely has some sort of minor head trauma, considering he just killed a woman. I would suggest that may be true. They say his lawyer, Moya O'Brien, told the court that her client still suffered from those injuries. No one cares. No one gives a shit. Tell us about the woman that you killed, allegedly. Tell us more about her. Tell us where you've hidden her. Then we might care about your injuries that you may be suffering from. Because other than that, no one really cares. They say the court heard Stevenson had lost control on a bend, going into a slide that left him injured on the road. And this is the guy that people are surprised about that may have hit and killed a woman at like 7 a.m. on a Sunday morning after driving back after being drunk, drugged, who knows, at 7 a.m. in the morning. I said when she went missing over a year ago, I said, who is around at 7 a.m. on a Sunday morning? There's not many people, right? There's people traveling back from parties the night before, people that may be still awake from their Saturday night, driving home, and weirdos who get up at like 6:30 on a Sunday and don't sleep in, or they go exercising, or they have to walk the dog or whatever. Samantha Murphy was one of the latter people. She was doing exercise before going to a brunch with friends. She never made it to that brunch. But yeah, there's not too many people awake at, 7 a.m. on a Sunday. And it always said to me that possibly the person who hurt her was coming back from whatever they were doing on a Saturday night. Well, I don't know if anyone's ever confirmed any of that. Had been lying in wait. I think maybe too many 60 minutes reconstructions of guessing what might have happened. I think when we find out, it's not going to be anything like that. I think we're going to find out this was something dumb, like he hit her on the way home, careless driving that he's already been known for, freaked out that he hit someone, tried to hide the evidence, and now we have a missing woman who's been gone for over a year. That sounds way more likely than some guy who had a girlfriend at home, snuck out into the bush at 7 a.m. in the morning and wanted to abduct an older woman. Not saying they're not attractive or people don't want to abduct them, just doesn't seem super likely. It's more likely he would have attacked a younger girl. That they seem to be the attention that these type of attackers normally, give to. Normally someone a little younger. Not saying that old women are useless or whatever, just the demographics and the statistics tell us that that's normally what happens. April B says that theory is a very good one. He's definitely a careless person. I knew someone was gonna. I'm trying to say it in a nice way that sometimes the younger women tend to be the ones who. Do you want to be the younger woman who gets attacked? All right, we could make that happen. We could change. We could change the rules here. We could change the rules of life. Rachel said it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. I think maybe he hit her and then didn't want to get in trouble, possibly because he'd already been in trouble for careless driving, crashing only a few months beforehand, in October, like 4 months before she went missing. So Rachel said, Kathy, I'm pretty sure he would be drunk. Yeah, probably. I think we've seen some footage of him out partying with friends. I don't know if that was the night before or the night before the October crash, but whatever it is, it shows you what type of guy he is. Not saying you can't have fun, but we have these really awesome things on our phone called Uber. You can just call an Uber and go home, and you'll get there safely most of the time, except if you're a woman. But he's a guy, so that's fine. But yeah, we have these things called Uber on the phone. You can just call one and you could go home. You don't need to drive home. We spent 30 years trying to tell people to stop driving when pissed. Like, stop driving under drugs, stop driving when you're drinking. If you're doing lots of drugs and drinking, call the Uber. People even do the drugs in the Uber. So do that. You won't kill anyone. You may get arrested. The Uber guy may kick you out of his car, but that's much better than killing someone. Rachel said, yeah, I would say he'd be drunk too. I would say maybe. We may get to trial and I'm completely wrong. But from my reading of the evidence, I believe I'm correct. But I always like to be the optimistic person. I always like to think I'm correct. All right, hold on. Let me go back. I want to see if we can find that footage because I think it's damning. No, it's not damning, but nope, nope, nope. Think it must be here in this video. It is. Here we go. Let's watch this. This was accused killer's nightclub bender on the eve of Samantha Murphy's disappearance. So there you go.
Learning more about the movements of Samantha Murphy's alleged killer in the days and weeks before the Ballarat mother of three disappeared. Friends claim Patrick Oren Stevenson went on a bender the night before she vanished, and new footage has shed light on his recent behaviour.
A snapshot into the life of Patrick Stevenson. In the weeks before he's accused of killing Samantha Murphy. It's alleged the night before the mum of three went missing, the 22-year-old was also on a bender at a Ballarat nightclub. 7 News has been told this video was taken a month before Samantha Murphy set off for a run on February 4 and never came home. Patrick Stevenson has been charged with Ms Murphy's murder in what police have described as a deliberate act. Last night, hundreds gathered to honour the life of Ms Murphy, but say their fight for justice isn't over.
We're not going to stop until she's found.
A lot of shock in the community, a lot of grief right now. We're just a little broken.
To lay the charge of murder. I think those words dealt us a blow.
Stevenson is refusing to cooperate with investigators, and police still don't know where Ms Murphy's body is.
I'm going to pause it on this photo because I think it demonstrates it very well how hard of a night out he has. Like, there's nothing wrong with going out and getting absolutely plastered. I don't have any problem with anyone doing that as long as you don't drive home or kill people or hurt others, then you do what you want to do. I'm not going to do anything, say anything, but you look at how shit-faced he is in these videos, and you imagine if he was driving home, he may not even be able to see the actual road. So the fact that he may have hit a woman on the way home is not surprising. I wouldn't even be, shocked. Earthkeeper said, "I wonder what evidence they have against him." I can tell you that other than what was spoken in court today, which is not able to be reported on right now, it's not anything great. I was told by someone who was there, while there was a couple of interesting comments or whatever by the prosecution, or whatever they're called, for the state Vic poll. While there was a couple of interesting comments, it's nothing that would blow this wide open or anything. It's more just pointing in directions. According to the source that we have up here, the full allegations and prosecution case against him has never been aired in open court. So he may have a copy of the charges, he may have a copy of the evidence, his lawyers may even have the discovery or the brief of evidence by now, but it's not public. So we're going to have to keep waiting. People ask me, when do you think he could go to trial? This may be very similar to Aaron Patterson, although I think it could be by the end of the year, because the difference between Patrick Oren Stevenson and Aaron Patterson wanted to have hers out in the Latrobe Valley Magistrates Court in Morwell, which is out in the country. He has fast-tracked his trial to be in the Supreme Court in Victoria. Hopefully that's in the city. Hopefully that's in Melbourne City. If that's true, they have a lot of availability. They should be able to have that done by the end of the year. So the fact that he's fast-tracked his proceedings means we should get this over and done with maybe by the end of 2025, possibly early 2026. So the sooner the better. The sooner the better. The sooner we find out what they allege for this guy and what he's done, the more we can piece this all together. Lindy says he probably doesn't remember that drunk equal blackout. Well, maybe, but at what point do we excuse people from their actions? Like, it's not a mental health disorder as such, unless he's some sort of raging alcoholic and he can prove that he's got some diagnosis of, even then I've seen alcoholics kill people and be jailed. So it's not gonna get him out of jail. Lynn D says, yeah, he doesn't. I agree. All right. Wouldn't his car be damaged? Well, could be. We don't know what the evidence is. I know a car was towed from his house. When he was arrested, they did tow a vehicle. Other than that, we don't really know. We do know a car was taken though for evidence. But if he hit her and then had them mind enough to grab her up and hide her body. I don't it's been a long time since I've been that drunk or that blasted on whatever to really understand the mindset. It's been 20 years since I've done any of that type of thing. But I would say clarity will come to you very quickly when you find yourself in a very precarious situation, like hitting someone, like hurting another human, and know that you're in deep crap. Like, your clarity will come to you very quickly. Glitter says, I've never been blackout drunk, so I can't relate. I've been pretty darn drunk, though. I've been blackout drunk a couple of times. One time I drank a whole bottle of, what was it? Jim Beam. One time I thought, I'm a big guy. I could probably drink a bottle of Jim Beam in like 3 hours. Yeah, that night did not end up very well. I ended up very sick, very alcohol poisoning for the rest of the night. So I felt sick as a dog just for the rest of that night. I don't think I've done that very many times, maybe twice, maybe twice I've done that. I learnt my lesson very quickly that too much alcohol equal feeling like crap, and if you can keep it on the other side, it is better. I know you're not excusing him. I'm just saying that other people might. Lindy says you can do all kinds of things in a blackout you don't remember. Yeah, there was a guy that went to trial like a couple of weeks ago, was accused of, what's the nicest way I can put this? He had relations with the girl in his bed, but says he doesn't remember it, and he has some sort of sex somnia. And the girl woke up to him committing relations with her, and she freaked out like, "What the hell?" And then I don't know what happened after that. All I know is he was charged with R word, and I don't know what happened after that. I just know that he was charged over it. So yeah, he said he. I know I saw some comments about that particular case that where people went, if this guy goes free, every single guy in the world will suddenly have the same condition. And I was like, that's pretty funny, even though it's a horrible crime. But geez, that's funny. Nikki, yeah. Let me see, let me show you that. Let me see if I can find it. It says help is available. Speak with someone today. No, I don't need any help. I haven't been R-worded. I'm good. I'm fine. I'm all good. I don't need any counseling. Not for that anyway. Let me see. When your man charge it. No, that's not it. Here we go. I found it. Oh, I found it. They say guilty men have gotten away with it. Fears over rise of sexsomnia defense in R-word cases. They say concerns that rare sleep disorder is being used as an escape route in sexual offense trials prompts calls for safeguards to protect victims and the public. Yeah, there was a trial, I swear to God, it was about a month ago. And a guy said, well, I suffer from that condition. And he's like, "Oh, I didn't even know I was doing it." And the girl's like, "I woke up, he was on top of me." Like, I don't know how he doesn't remember this, but he had to like, open my legs, get on top, like do all the things that you need to do. I don't know how he didn't know about this. It seems like a lot of work to not wake up to, but apparently it's a thing. Midlife you said I rolled over in my crypt when you said that. Yeah. Kathy Lynn says, remember the man or woman who hit someone? They were stuck alive in the windshield, and the driver took him home and parked the car in the garage, refusing to help him. I don't know if I remember that one. It seems like an odd hood ornament to take home. I'd want to leave that where I was. I call BS on that. Let me see if I can find the one from a month ago. It's not funny, Pink. Stop laughing. It's not a funny thing. These girls could actually have been, R-worded. No, that's not what we want to do. I don't want that in my history. Here, let me see if I can find the trial. Oh, he was found not guilty. Here we go. Dun, dun, dun. Man with sexsomnia not guilty of R-wording woman after judge warns jury in Sydney trial. The 40-year-old had a medical condition where people exhibit sexual behavior during sleep. I think 99% of men have that thing. Like, I don't think that's a condition. I just think that's men. I think it's just, the old morning glory. I don't think that's what. Yeah, I don't think 100 and whatever million men suddenly have sexomnia. I think they're just rowdy men. They say on Thursday, Timothy Malcolm Rowland, he was 40, was found not guilty of having non-consensual sex with a woman at his Sydney apartment on the 26th of August 2022 after the pair spent the night out together. Okay. They say the 40-year-old told the seven-day jury trial he was experiencing an episode of sexsomnia, a medical condition where people exhibit sexual behavior during their sleep. The not guilty verdict came hours after jurors sent a series of questions to the judge. One inquiry of concern to the judge regarding the consequences of committing a crime while a person was unconscious. The judge says, this is really a dangerous logic. He also said, a jury should not be determining a case based on laws it wished were in place, but instead on the current laws, he warned. Doing this would be unfair on any accused. So he's basically saying you can't make up laws in the jury room. You have to apply the evidence to the laws that are currently in place. You can't just, you can't manipulate things and pretend things, are the way they are because you want it to be. They said someone could not be found guilty of a crime they did unconsciously. They said we're not about to punish people for acts they have no lawful control over. What is the legal standard to show that someone had no legal control over it or no lawful control over the actions? I want to know what that is. Every guy that's like a R wordist and like SA person is like scanning through the freaking law book going, where did they find this? I want to find it. How do we get to this part? There were no current laws, rules, or regulations about having sexsomnia or doing something while having the medical condition, the judge said. He said no laws about that exist. There are no criminal offenses about that exist, and it's not for you to create the law. Rowland and the woman went drinking at a cocktail bar in the inner city suburb of Darlinghurst on the night of the alleged R word, returning to his apartment about 1 a.m. Sounds like it probably would have ended up where they were going anyway. They say once there, they drank some more and took a naked bath together. Sure. Before the woman fell asleep in Roland's bed, the parties agreed that's what happened. About 6 a.m., the woman allegedly woke to find Rowland having sex with her before she pushed him off, jumped out of the bed, and left the apartment. I'm so confused about the naked bath. They said there was no dispute during the trial that Rowland had sexsomnia. Okay, then if it's an agreed fact, why is this in court? But the issue before the jury was whether he was having an episode at the time of the alleged R word or whether he was awake. How do you decide that without having some sort of video camera evidence? If you're like, he was telling me stuff during it, like, oh, you're so hot, baby. Like, does that mean he was awake? Does that mean he consented? Does that mean he knew? Does that mean he authorized it? I don't know. They said it was also not in dispute that the woman was asleep when Rowland began to having sex with her. Okay. Earlier on Thursday, the jury asked what sort of evidence there could be to prove someone was awake. I know. If I was in the jury, I would ask these questions as well, because I'd be like, what do you want us to do here? Like, you want us to not apply it to laws that don't exist, but you also won't give us the evidence to do anything with it. It's like you put the jury in a very like no-win situation here. They had no chance but to find him not guilty because of the direction by the judge. I would actually be surprised if this didn't go on appeal. And they said, and if there was insufficient evidence, why the case was prosecuted and why did it become before a jury? The jury asked of the judge. Yeah, why did it get prosecuted and why did it go before a jury if there's no way and no evidence to prosecute it? It's a waste of jury time. I feel bad for the girl. And it's sort of the thing with sexual assault cases. Sometimes the evidence is not there to be able to prosecute. It's hard in this one. Someone's going to clip that. Someone's going to put that on Instagram. It is difficult. No, that's not right either. I'm going to go with that. It is difficult due to the allegations and then his defense of having this condition. I don't understand how the jury is supposed to apply that evidence to the current law. It is or yeah, it's putting them in a no-win situation. It probably should have never been brought to court unless they had a way to victory. Unless the prosecution had a way to prosecute it and get that win, you're putting the victim, the girl, through an awful situation and making her relive it or whatever. You're actually victimizing her again with no possible way of winning the trial. It's actually sort of incompetent by the DPP. Rachel said, I was wondering if he was previously diagnosed. Well, they said it's an agreed fact. So when you have an agreed fact, it's like the defense is not disputing it. So if they didn't think it was real, the defense would have brought in an expert saying, he's just full of crap, blah, blah, blah. The fact that it was an agreed fact, I think, is interesting. I think they found him not guilty of R, but the sexsomnia is null and void. Yeah, the determining a verdict was a cold analytical process, according to the judge, which should not be concerned with how the alleged victim or the community may feel. Okay. Let me see if I can look up his name. This is when they found him not guilty of R word. There he is here. Dun, dun, dun. Actually, is that him? Yeah, it is him. There you go. This man. Right here. Why is his name still in the... If he was found not guilty, why is his name still in the paper? Isn't that like some... What, can't he sue the paper for that? Here, Timothy Rowland. Or Rowland. Let's see. Died cleared of... Right. Yeah. So, yeah, he was cleared of it. Yeah, I want to take you back. Yeah, let's go to 7 News a few weeks ago. I want to show you the video. Maybe you'll have more information of why he was cleared.
Tears of relief from a burlesque bar owner today, cleared of raping a woman in Darlinghurst following a night out together. A jury agreed he had no idea what he was doing due to an unusual episode of sexsomnia.
Timothy Rowland was accused of raping his friend, an allegation he has denied for 3 years. And after a day of deliberations, a jury believed him.
Timothy, did you want to say anything about today's verdict?
This rape trial was unusual because the 40-year-old has sexsomnia, similar to sleepwalking, and becomes aroused when he's asleep. Rowland and the woman had been drinking at Bar Low 302 and went back to his apartment at Darlinghurst. As friends, she went to sleep next to him in his bed. That's when she says he raped her.
Lawyers for Rowland presented medical documents prior to this trial proving he had suffered from this condition for years. The judge said this was devastating to the Crown case, but they went ahead and prosecuted him anyway.
To the Director of Public Prosecutions herself, she's the one who prosecutes these matters, and perhaps that should be looked into. Timothy Rowland cried when the not guilty verdict was read out and hugged his family in the public gallery. The state will now pay his court costs, with the judge saying defendants could fail using sexsomnia as a defence, but this man was not one of them. Leonie Ryan.
Very interesting. Very interesting. If you ask me, it comes down to consent then, right? If you can't prosecute on that particular medical condition, fine. But then you have to look back and say, is there something within the laws about consent? And because she agreed to stay at his home, did he warn her? Like, hey, you're sleeping in my bed. You know, we had a naked bath together. Things might turn overnight. Just be warned. Like, is there something under the consent laws that they could have prosecuted on, rather than tried to charge him in the like R word laws? Maybe it could have been done that way, because you would think it's almost like, say you had some, I don't know, STD. Wouldn't you get arrested if you had sex with a woman, didn't tell her about it, and then she contracted it, and then she got very ill or something? Wouldn't it be something like that where you'd have to warn the sexual partner? even if you like, I mean, there was some things there leading up to it. I mean, I don't exactly go take naked baths with everyone I bring home to my apartment. I'm like, hey, let's go play some Twister in the bathroom. I'll run the bath. You get the Twister mat, and we'll be there in 20 minutes. Like, no, I don't. I mean, it doesn't seem to work like that. I would want to know if that is something that was ever considered by the prosecution or the jury, that it may have had to have been some sort of warning by him to her, and if she accepted, then whatever happened after, I mean, I hate to say it's on the victim because that's not very nice, but she would have known, right? She would have known that there was a risk there of this act happening, and yeah, I mean, that's where my mind goes anyway. Anyway, why are we talking about this? We're talking about this because what could people be aware of when unconscious or drunk, right? So that's the same with Patrick Oren Stevenson. What would he have known if he was blasted? Could he run this type of defense in court? I don't think so. I don't think so. Although this judge made it very clear that you can't prosecute people for what they don't know. Apparently, if you're unconscious, you can't be prosecuted for your crimes during that period. There's going to be a lot of sleepwalking cases that happen in the next 10 years. A difficult case for sure, yeah, and I think it's a hard case to prosecute. I'd question the DPP on why they brought that case in that particular fashion under those particular charges, since I think New South Wales has consent laws, but it depends how far reaching those laws are. Does that extend to this type of thing? I'm not a lawyer, I don't know, but I do feel sorry for the woman. I feel like in a way she was victimized again by being dragged through court on a case that looked like it could never win. Even the DPP should have known that they were never going to get a conviction out of a jury with those type of directions from a magistrate or judge. So, could Patrick Oren do this? I mean, he could try. He could try. I don't think he can claim he has sexsomnia, and then he was driving and then hit a woman and then hid her in a location no one has been able to find her. I don't think that would work. I think he's going to have to come up with a different defense. All right, let's get off this. Interesting thought experiment, though, about the legal technicalities around it. I want to talk about this very briefly. It is a pretty awful subject, but I think you would. I think you would enjoy the documentary, even though the content is not great. And what I mean by that is, I think the background surrounding it would be very interesting. And it's this documentary about Matthew Folder. Now, I have watched a couple of documentaries on him before, and the work that the National Crime Agency did to try and track him down. But apparently, there is a new documentary out. Here's a photo of him here. Dun dun dun. Supplied. That's his mugshot, apparently. Never seen anything freakier in my life. There's a new documentary coming out on Channel 5 called Prime Suspect: Hunting the Predators, and it's coming out this week. And I think it is based on Matthew Folder's crimes, and what he was sentenced to is 32 years in prison. He got 25 years on appeal after admitting to 137 charges, ranging from coercing an adult to R-word a 4-year-old, to possession of PDF file material. So 137 charges. They say he could be Britain's largest or most, the largest offender in this type of area. They're saying he never actually touched any of his victims, but he instructed others to offend on his behalf. They say here, as one officer cuffs Matthew Folder's hands behind his back, another reads aloud a chilling list of charges, including inciting a child to engage in SA, possessing indecent images or CSAM, possessing CSAM material, causing GBH, grievous bodily harm. And apparently, when they read out these charges, he smirked at the officer and said, "Geez, sounds like the rap sheet from hell." So he is not a repentant offender, but that documentary could be very, very interesting, especially about the technical work they do to track these type of offenders down. I don't have a trailer for you, I don't think. No, I don't, unfortunately. Not one that I can play. But I can tell you it is on channel5.com. Let me just double check. It says, it looks like you're trying to access the 5 app from outside the UK. No, I really am from inside the UK. Please let me in. I am. I can talk like in a Cockney accent. I can do it. Yeah, okay. I can't show it to you because it's giving me this error message. But it is on the Channel 5 website. I'm sure it'll be out on all your favorite places to get true crime documentaries, even though they don't air in your country. So have a look over there. Hey, Snapcrackle, how are you? Yeah, this one I think will be interesting. Marilander says, "Looking Eyes." Yes. So yeah, give it a watch. I don't know when it comes out. Let's have a look. I don't know. It's not giving me anything. I don't know. Sometime this week, if it hasn't aired the first episode already, it may have done that. Let's see. Let me see if I can find anything on folding that I can show to you. Something that isn't National Crime Agency. So apparently the National Crime Agency actually has a documentary out on him already. Here, it's right here. It's on the NCA YouTube. Actually, they have a bunch of different episodes that you can watch out of the UK.
Wherever they are.
Oh, it's like a podcast.
Which is
Okay, there you go. I'll leave the link in the chat for you. If you want to listen to that podcast from the National Crime Agency, you can. Matthew Folding. No, I want the BBC. Actually, I could probably show you an interview with him from the NCA. They have one on their Facebook.
For us, this has been a relentless pursuit to catch Dr. Matthew Folder. But what has saddened me is his relentless pursuit of the victims, and he would stop at nothing to exploit them, to make them feel sad, humiliated, or unhappy. And he didn't really care in any way, shape, or form how that manifested.
When the sole motivation of an individual is purely to cause pain to another, that's quite hard to grasp.
The offences that I've arrested you on suspicion of being involved in were blackmail, causing or inciting a child to engage in sexual activity, possessing indecent images of children.
Sounds like the rap sheet from hell.
Distributing indecent images of children, and causing GBH injuries to a person.
And this individual, the sole motivation was to inflict pain on another, and the journey to that. It was all about the complete and total power and control over another person.
Have you done that?
No comment.
Have you sent pictures of your blackmail victims to the parents?
No comment.
Of the victim, the grandparents?
No comment.
The workplace?
Ultimately, that has devastated some people's lives, and I'm very proud of our team and also those victims for being able to stand up and stop him.
So there you go, Mr. Folder, like a folder with an O, but actually an A. You can watch that on Channel 5. You'll see more of that interview, I'm sure. But you heard there, they asked him, did you send, have you sent pictures of your blackmail victims to the parents, to the grandparents, to their workplaces? These young people, I don't even know what that would feel like. That's awful. If these very graphic images ended up with your parents, with your grandparents, with your workplace, it would crush you for years. That's the last thing you want your parents ever to see. That's the last thing you want your grandparents ever to see. That's the last thing you want your work ever to see. I think the offending is abhorrent. It's it's the worst of the worst. It really is. Those victims may never be okay ever again. Like, their confidence has just been stripped from them, and I don't even know how you go about rebuilding your life after that. Like, how can you even look your parents in the eye after that? Not that it's anything to like your fault, but just your relationship would be broken. Like, it would just be irreparably broken. You wouldn't know what to do with that. Age wasn't kind to his scalp. He does look like some kind of very freaky Ronald McDonald from hell. But yeah, he does look like he's wearing one of those weird wigs that people wear in movies to pretend like they're bald. It looks like someone glued one on top of his head and he's never been able to get it off again. That's exactly what he looks like. Um, it'll be a very hard watch, I think, but I think it's worth seeing the technical capabilities of these teams that try to track down these men that are willing to, offend against basically everyone. They're very dangerous people. So glad he's in jail. Hopefully someone gives him some jail pocket love in jail, and hopefully we never hear from him ever again. That would be nice, because he's just an absolute piece of crap. All right, let's head over here. No, that's not what I want to do. Okay, that's not. Yes, that's what we want. All right, let's talk about something happy instead of that, because that was awful. Let's talk about something that's more interesting. Let me get this. 124 hours. Okay, I'm going to take you to channel 7. If it'll ever load. Maybe.
An internet famous magpie and its carers can breathe easy after the Queensland government revealed the bird will be able to stay with its Gold Coast family.
Yep, you heard right. The government's in on this. Live to Georgia Costi. Georgia, it marks the end of a very lengthy battle to keep the bird.
Good morning, guys. Yeah, that's right. This has really been quite the saga. It's been going on for years, but it does appear that it's all finally coming to an end. And that's because the state government has ruled that Molly the magpie can stay with his, yes, it's a boy, with his Gold Coast family. All of this really started back in 2021. Molly became an internet sensation because of his unlikely friendship with a pet dog named Peggy. But in the end, the Environment Department actually seized the bird and said that the family didn't have an appropriate licence to keep it. This caused widespread outrage. At the time, our Premier Stephen Miles intervened. The bird was returned, but it didn't end there. The Supreme Court ended up cancelling their wildlife licence they were given, saying it was invalid. But now the state government once again has stepped in and said that Molly can stay with his family because it is technically a wild bird. It is free to come and go as it pleases. So therefore, they don't need the licence. So guys, thankfully, it's all over. A lot of people say that it was common sense, and finally common sense has prevailed. And now little Molly can go on and just keep living his best magpie life here on the Gold Coast.
Exactly. Could you imagine the cost?
So there you go. Molly the magpie is going to stay with her, her, I don't know what it is. The bird can stay with the owners for life. They consider it a wild bird. I think the Queensland government's like, oh, I'm sort of sick of this argument. I don't want to do this anymore. It's like when you agree to do something and then you get halfway through and you're like, why did I ever agree to do this? And I think that's what the Queensland government ended up being like. They're like, I don't think we want to continue with this anymore. And they're just like, hey, keep the bird. There's plenty more of them out there. No one cares. Go away. Keep the bird. Make as many YouTube videos as you want. Go away. Leave us alone. But no, it is good news. Molly. Maggie is a different thing. Molly the magpie can stay with its owners. That is good news. Sorry. Sorry, I sent something to someone on Messenger and they messaged back going, "What's that?" Sorry, that's what I do in between film clips. I send funny things to people. Rachel says, well, technically, if he's able to leave, it is a wild animal. Yeah, I would, the definition of wild is interesting, but sure, whatever. I think the bird has lived there long enough that, I don't think anyone else is going to try after they've seen all the trouble that they had to go through for like over 12 months. They had to deal with the government and the premier, and then the Supreme Court got involved, and then carers of animals sued them, and oh my god, it's been a mess. April B said there are more important things the government should be doing. Yeah, like making sure we all can get meat pies 7 days a week. Like, why else would you have a government if not for that? Or not if you're in Tasmania, because apparently all the fish are dying in Tasmania. I mean, maybe you want the government for that. I mean, that might be a good thing too. If you don't know what I'm talking about, apparently in Tasmania, which is where we grow salmon for eating in Australia, so that's where all our like salmon farms are. Apparently, like all the fish died. They all just died. Like from what? I'm not sure. Some sort of bacteria or something. And they had to bury like tons and tons of salmon. So, how long do magpies live? Longer than they should. April B said, yeah. Actually, I don't know. I have no idea how long a magpie lives for. Hold on here. How long does magpie live for? Apparently, they live between 25 and 30 years in the wild. Magpies generally live to be 3 to 6 years old. That sentence makes no sense. They typically live to be around 25 years old, but can live up to 30 years old. Magpies generally live to 3 to 6 years old. That makes no sense at all. All right, here. What do they say here? There is a article here. Let's see. I don't know. They say 25 years. So there you go, different magpies. Let's see. Do we have a thing that says how old they go? Yeah. Magpies live for around 25 years, although some have been known to live up to 30 years. So they're like a 3-decade pet. A 3-decade pet. I don't know in captivity. Maybe only like 5 to 10 years. It's probably like whales when they keep the killer whales in captivity. Like in the wild, they live to like 100. In captivity, they get to like 9, and they're just like they're dead. April B said the bird chose its home, the humans didn't. The bird picked its own family. There you go. Lindy says, I've heard of people having crows for pets. Why? Are you looking for a new pet? Are you looking to adopt a crow? Maybe you are. There's a guy on TikTok that like goes and feeds a crow like every day, and he was teaching it tricks. Have you seen that? There's a guy on TikTok, and every day he goes and visits the crow, and it comes to him like it flies from wherever it is living, and it comes down, and like he teaches it tricks for the food, and it starts getting smarter, and it gets more and more in tune the more he visits with the crow. It's I don't think I have it, but if I find it, I'll show it on another episode of Nights with Ping. But I watched it weeks and weeks and weeks ago. I don't have it. I mean, I will show it another time when I find it, but I don't actually have it right now. But yeah, there is a dude that talks to the animal and it flies down, and then I think he was teaching it something with a bottle cap, like a bottle cap, and he was teaching it something, and it got even smarter. So animals are amazing. That's true. Muffin, they say you're amazing. Is that true? I'm not sure about that. All you do is sit there all day. Muff. He's ignoring me. Muff, hey, what are you doing? No, he doesn't want my attention. He's like, I'm sleeping, Dad. Leave me alone. I'm sleeping. All right, hold on, ladies and gents. Who's messaging me? Let's see. Okay. Sorry, people are like to message me around 5 o'clock every day. It's weird. Hey Glitter. All right, what else do we have on our list? I think I almost got through everything. Yeah, someone said they saw my haircut. Yeah, there you go. It's all been cut again finally. It's all been shaved and went to the hairdresser last night. Got to visit my hairdresser, which is, well, it's not my hairdresser, but our entire family goes there. And like, it's funny, we went in last night and they're like, your nan was here in the morning. And I'm like, she was? They're like, yeah, she was here at like 10 a.m. I was like, oh, okay. And then they just know our whole family. So every time we go in there, they're always like, oh, we saw your uncle. And I'm like, oh, okay. But our hairdresser's pregnant. She's having her first baby, and I hadn't seen her since she announced the pregnancy. I asked her, I was like, hey, when we came in December, did you know you're pregnant? And she's like, yeah, I knew. But like, I didn't want to tell anyone at the time because it's like the first trimester. And then she's like, now we started telling people. And I was like, wow, you would have got some weird comments with that, with that belly. People would have been accusing you. They would have been like, are you pregnant? And you go, no, like, no, I just, it's holiday weight. Why are you being so mean? Like, that's what I was telling her you should have been saying to people. You should have been like, being like, hey, how dare you? I just ate too many cheesecakes at Christmas. Like, this is what I look like. But she's having the baby. She knows the sex of the child and knows the name and everything. So she's going to disappear, which is very sad because she does my hair so good. And she's like, oh, the other ladies will do your hair. And I'm like, no, you've been my hairdresser for like, I don't know, many years. You have to keep doing my hair. She's like, I'll only be gone for 6 months. And I'm like, sure you will. I'm like, you're going to go for 6 months, realize how hard it is to raise your first child, and then be like, I'll be back in 2 years. Because that's what ends up happening to most people who go on maternity leave. They realize how hard it is and then they keep going. He does. Yeah, sort of. My uncle goes there, my nan goes there, we go there, but my I don't know where my father-in-law goes, and my mother-in-law goes somewhere else. She's got an old friend that's a hairdresser that she's known for like 30 years. They go there, but mostly because Nan lives around the corner. Like Nan lives like 2 streets away from the hairdresser. So every time we're there, we feel bad because we're like, maybe we should drop in on Nan. And we're like, it's 8:30 at night. We don't want to annoy her. But yeah, everyone lives in the area, like in the suburb. So it's like one of the only hairdressers in the suburb. So I don't think so. I think it's just a weird us thing. I think it's just a weird our family thing that for some reason they do my nan's hair, my uncle's hair, my hair. I think it's just grandmother. Yeah. She's our grandma. She was telling us last night, like a couple of years, actually 2 years ago, next week or the week after, my grandfather died. And she was telling us last night all these stories about my granddad I didn't know anything about. She was telling us all these different like quirks and things that because she's been working there for like 10 years. So she was telling us all these stories about him. Like, he'd come in, he was like never let our nan like help him to his chair or whatever. She'd be like, he's very determined. And I'd be like, yeah, he's a grumpy asshole. And she's like, no, he's just determined. I'm like, no, he's grumpy. He was. You don't have to sugarcoat it. So we're having a good reminiscence about granddad before he died. So Sean says, I tell my hairdresser more than my shrink. I don't want my family visiting there. Yeah, sort of. You like the name Nan? That's an Australian thing. I remember Nan taking that spill. No, that's our other grandmother. No, not the same one. The Nan that goes to the hairdresser is the one with the granddad that died. The one that got hit by the car is a different side of the family. It's the other side of the family. That's the other grandma. Her name, we call her the Croatian word for grandma. We don't call her Nan. The other lady is English, and we call her Nan because that's what you call an English grandmother. But the other side, she's got a Croatian name, which I'm not going to say here, but it's the Croatian word for grandma. So different lady, different lady. People tell their hairdresser crazy stuff. I ain't telling my hairdresser anything. We normally talk about more about them. Like I'm like, oh my god, you're having the baby. Oh my, why don't you tell me? I'm not telling them anything personal. Yeah, that's all I got to say about that. Had some other things I was going to say, but not on this channel. Just short for nanny. Yeah. Yeah, some people call her nanny too, like some of the older people call her nanny, but I think we're just very relaxed with words, so we're just like nan. But yeah, no, not the same one who got hit by a car a couple of Christmases ago. Different one. Different nan. Different lady. The other one I haven't seen in a while. She didn't go to the wedding in December. So I haven't seen her in half a year or something. She just didn't want to go to the wedding. Nah. Close though, close, but not that word. Similar. It's got some other letters in there. You're close though. Yeah, I think you're the only one. Yeah, I am cautious because our family does go there, and my nan does go there more than we do. So I don't tell them too much. But nan's always like, "Oh my god, my grandkids are always here," and they're like, "Yeah, they're coming in tonight." So yeah, it's similar to that. It's something similar to that. Similar. It's not quite that though. You need to go see your granny. No, there's some family stuff going on. So nope, I'm not going to go see her. Not right now anyway. Not until we get like the green light and we get told it's okay to go visit, and then we'll go visit. But right now there's some drama going on. Is that what Google said? Hold on, let me Google what the word is, and I'll tell you why we say it. Hold on. There we go. We lost the microphone thing. Yeah. So yeah, it's a different word. Okay, so it means grandmother in like Slovenian, Croatian, that type of thing. So we lost the microphone stand. It just fell off. It just died. It just fell off. I don't know why. There you go. Here. Hey, there we go. That's better. I'm gonna have to reattach this later. It just decided to come off. Nobody wants the drama. Nope. I don't want the drama with my grandma. I'm good. Family, yeah. There's some stuff going on. I don't want any part of it. I'll let the other like matriarchs take care of it and let them tell us when it's safe to go visit. Other than that, I'm not getting involved at all. Yeah, I don't want any drama with no one. I don't want drama on YouTube. I don't want drama in the family. I don't want to deal with drama anywhere. I'm too old. I just don't want it. I'm good. I'm not 16. I'm not a girl. I don't care. Kathy says it's Babica. Babica? No, that's not it. It's the name is that the Croatian word is it's baka, but yeah. So that's the word here. I'll show you. So it's used in Slovenian and Croatian dialect, depending where you come from in Croatia or Slovenia. So yeah, there you go. So that's what we call her. It just means grandma. What is that behind you? Why is there a ghost behind me? This thing? This is a sign. This says Knights with Ping on it. With this is my chair, my very dead chair, my chair that's like peeling. Like you can see all the black stuff that's come off it. There you go. This is what the cats did to my chair. This chair was black like a year ago, and the cats got on it, and they decided to claw it all and took all the stuff off it. So But yeah, baka in Japanese means crazy. Yep, I've watched enough anime to know that. Yep. Hey, Woman of Steel, how are you? Good to see you. Here, I'll wave with my thing. Here you go. Flying DJ would know. Yeah, he might know. Hey, girls are not the only ones with drama. I don't know. I mean, I've grown up being a guy. There's not been that much drama with the guys. The guys are all right, although they have their own stuff. But it normally involves like a punch to the face, and then everyone goes and has beers with each other because it's all sorted out. The girl stuff takes weeks, and there's psychology, and there's like backstabbing, and there's stuff that happens, and someone cheated on someone, and someone likes someone from one direction or something. I don't know. Don't ask Ping. There's something in my hand. Yeah, this. Is this what you're talking about? This thing? It's the microphone cover. This, here. See? Used to go here, but it fell off. Don't be sexist. I'm just joking. Jeez, people get so uptight. Dudes are pretty shady. I think guys do it in a different way to girls. Guys are like more direct. I think it's more like it's more direct, as where girls can be a little more the other way. It's not sexist. I think you're only sexist if you say things that are like not true facts in life, right? Like I think we all. Who just knocked at my door? There's like no one due here. Do I go answer the door? Is it the cops? It could be. Who called the cops about my sexist remarks? Who did that? How did they get here so quickly? No, I'm not gonna answer that. Is that cover called the dead cat? No, but I have a dead cat, but I don't use. Oh, maybe I should use it. I do have one though. I do have one somewhere. It's the FBI. It's the FBI in Australia. Why would they be here? Actually, do you guys want to know something weird? So there's a mall down this way, about 5 minutes this way. There's an FBI car that parks there all the time. Oh, I'm like, where does it come from? Whose car is it, and why is it here? And it's there. I see it every couple of weeks. It's parked at the mall, and I'm like, why? Why is there an FBI office that is around here? Like, did I get transported to Kentucky? What is going on? I'll take a photo. If I ever see it again, I'll take a photo. I've been swatted. They can go F themselves. A mole. It's a mole? I don't think it's a mole. I'm digging myself a hole. I just tell the truth, my friend. I just tell the truth. Glitter says, I'm speaking from a mum's point of view. I have grown boys, so young men, and they mind just as much. What? You have to. What? You have grown boys, so young men. Yes, I agree with you. See what happens when you have facts? I agree with you. Sean's at my door? No. Me and Sean have arranged meeting places should anything go wrong. Any nuclear disaster, asteroid, nuclear war. Me and Sean have a place to meet. They are watching you? They could be. They could be. Yeah, it does. It has like a giant, like, what do you call that thing they have? Like a shield. Like, has like the, FBI, and it says US government or whatever. And it's just like a black car, and it's just always parked there. Oh, they whine? Boys whine? Yeah, I'll tell you. This one thing I agree is true about men and women. Men are worse at being sick than women. Men can have the flu and women can have the flu. Women will just go to work and be fine. And men will be like, I'm dying. This is the worst flu in 25 years. And I agree that's true. Men seem to cry about being sick more than women. That I 100% agree. I don't know why that's a thing, but I have done it. I have done it. I have done it. Mrs. Ping just looks at me and goes, I had that last week. I did everything and it was fine. You're acting like you're dying. And I'm like, I'm dying. I can't speak. The water tastes like steel. What's going on? The infamous man cold. It's true. It's true. I believe it. I heard a male doctor admit that recently. Oh yeah, it is. I don't know why it happens or how it happens, but yeah, I agree. I think it's 100% true. The infamous man cold. Yeah, I think it's a real thing. Not that there's a real man cold, just that men whinge about the cold more than women. I 100% agree. I am the worst patient in the world. Mrs. Pink's like, I'm moving to my mum's. She's like, every time you get sick, you're horrible. She's like, I'm just going to move to mum's house for like a week. She goes, call me when you're better. She's like, I don't want to stay here anymore. She's like, you're horrible. She's like, you just like, I'm sick. Where's the medication? There's like stuff everywhere. She's like, you wreck the house. You leave stuff everywhere. She goes, you're a horrible patient. So Kathy Lynch says, after you birth babies, nothing compares. Well, I haven't birthed any babies, I can tell you that. Like a baby? Yeah, like a baby. Yeah. Men want to be babied, they go from mum to wife. I've never been like that because I've never had like much maternal care or whatever like that. So I've never been too much like that. But I can see why some men might be like that. I do most of the things for myself. Like I cook my own food, I do my own washing, although Mrs. Ping will often be like, you haven't washed this in 2 weeks. I'm going to wash it. Otherwise, it might start a hazmat response here. And we may have to have like SWAT come in, the National Health Department. She's like, I'm just going to wash it because you'll take 2 weeks to do it. But I do my own washing. So it's instinct? Maybe it could be. Is it really your 70th birthday? Happy birthday, my friend. I really am proud of you. Anyone who makes it past 50, I think, should get an award every 10 years. I believe that. And a letter from the president, prime minister, whoever, wherever you live, you should get a letter that says, congratulations on another great 10 years. Happy birthday from the prime minister. That's what you should actually get. That's how it should work. All right. I can't remember what I was supposed to talk about, but I was supposed to go like 10, 20 minutes ago. Kathy Lynch says, actually, my gallbladder surgery was almost half as bad as having babies. I don't know what it would feel like to push a bowling ball out of your vagina, but I'm sure it's probably pretty painful. I think that would be not much fun unless they give you all the drugs. If they give you all the drugs, then I don't know. I mean, hopefully the drugs are good. I think it's an interesting thought experiment. There you go. You're past 50, you should demand your letter from the government, from the prime minister. Yeah, happy birthday, Robbie. Have a great birthday. Yeah, I think we'll end on that. Have a great birthday, Robbie. Enjoy your 70th and I don't know, go get really drunk or something. I don't know. Watch a lot of true crime, get scared about the world. I don't know. Do something fun. A letter from Elon? Ooh, who wants that? No one wants that. Glitter says, I had 4 babies, but every single one of them was C-section. I have questions. Ping has many questions, but maybe I'll ask you. No, actually, I won't ask you, but I have theories about why some women get C-sections, because there's a thing in Australia about women opting for C-section over natural birth. Yeah, happy birthday, Robbie. 2-hour karate training. Oh. Don't mess with Robbie. Robbie will kick your butt. No, I'm good. I don't want a letter from Elon. I'm fired? No, I'm good. I'm efficient. I fit so many stories into like 1 hour, and some shows talk about one thing for like 4.5 hours. I get like 5 stories in an hour. There you go. Very efficient. Dog or Dodge or whatever, they will want me. They'll want me for their media. Glitter says, I didn't opt for it. It was emergency, the first one. The other 3 weren't. They didn't want to risk it. They're like, oh, that vagina's too good. We don't want to wreck it. We're just gonna give her the C-section the next 3 times. We'll note it on her file. You know, she may want to meet another man. You know. All right, we have to end the show. The jokes are getting too rude. When the jokes get rude, Ping has to turn the show off. A letter from Ping, I could do that. Yeah, when the jokes start getting R-rated, I have to say goodbye for the night, because that I get in trouble for doing those jokes. We had a night where I just did like R-rated jokes all night, and there was so many mad people. They're like, what is true crime about this? I'm like, well, it's a crime against humanity, people, the people I make fun of, sort of true crime. So yeah, too much X-rated stuff. Hey, I love you all. I'll be back tomorrow. Yeah, if you turn 70, I'll send you a letter signed Elon Musk. All right, love you all. Have a great night. See you tomorrow, same time. I will fix whatever this is. Maybe we'll get a dead cat out here as well. And I will see you then, all right? Hey, good night. Bye. Happy birthday, Robbie. 70th. Have a great night. Bye.